Hello, whoever's watching this. I wanted to do a live, and I'm going to start doing this more regularly. I wanted to do a live because I want to start showing more of my writing process. This is my YouTube writing channel after all, so I think it's important to show how you come up with ideas, break them down, and then you get to see the end result as a YouTube video essay, or in the future some screenplays, novel outlines, breakdowns of that. Yeah, so hope you're having a good weekend. And today I am working on my next video essay, which is about setting and how important setting is for storytelling. To me, what I've learned over the years through my own experience with becoming a better storyteller, setting is absolutely the place you want to start, because we are humans that are constantly interacting and reacting to our environment that we place ourselves in, and that dictates our behavior. So you want a driving force that emulates from the setting of choice and how that shapes the story itself. So I'm trying to decide what title I want to use. I like to use Milanote to kind of brainstorm, lay everything out, just do a big brain dump and flesh out the idea that way. So now I have setting, your secret weapon for telling a great story, but I don't like that title, so we're gonna find a different title, and then I'm going to make my outline and start filling in the main points. And yeah, I will just be working on that, and you can come along for the journey. So my outline idea that I have so far is really breaking down why setting is a character in itself. That can be, you see that example in the Harry Potter series with Hogwarts being the setting, and a character, a main character of the story, because it's a place, it creates an environment that Harry can transform within as the protagonist, but it's also, it provides for him in experiencing what it means to be a wizard. So it's, a setting can kind of be like a nurturing mentor almost, and I love that idea. I mean, it happens a lot with magic realism as well, but my outline that I have so far is setting as a character, why setting matters, the foundation of immersion, and then making setting an active force in the story. So describe how setting can interact with characters and influence their decisions, moods, and actions. I kind of already touched on that. Using setting to shape plot and pacing. Pacing is huge. And again, does the setting have a ticking clock? Is it loaded with traps? I just watched that movie I think it's Hide and Seek. I have to figure out what that's called. Run and Hide, I think it's called. Run and Hide. Not the Sabrina Carpenter song. I want the movie. Nope, that's not it either. What is that movie called? Seek movie. 2019. What was it called? Oh, Ready or Not. Ready or Not. So Ready or Not is another good example. It came out in 2019. I don't know if whoever's listening to this stream has seen this movie, but I loved that the mansion became kind of this provider of nooks and crannies to hide in, or it supplied weapons. Like it, as you're one setting is so powerful for a story because then we as the audience become so familiar with it, and we almost form an emotional attachment to it. And I really love that idea, because something that I learned from doing a lot of improv is you don't want too many scene change or setting changes when you're trying to establish a premise, because it really takes audiences out. Even if you're reading a book or seeing a movie, if there's too many jumps to locations, you don't get enough time to get invested and grounded in the story. You have to support it with that. You have to earn that that setting jump. You have to kind of exhaust a setting before you move on to the next, in my opinion. So adding depth through cultural and historical context. Yes, so again, building the setting as a character. What's the historical context with this setting? Practical techniques to master setting. Sensory details. We are creatures of our senses. What does it smell like in the setting? What do you see? What does it feel like? Is it a natural environment? Is it an artificial environment? So important to establish that early on. And then to kind of conclude this essay and this idea is just to make the setting come alive as the integral part of your storytelling. Let it enhance the mood, challenge your characters, and resonate with the readers. So make it accessible for the readers. Don't make it, like, even though Harry Potter is a magical made-up place, it's super accessible because it's got we know what it feels like to be around candlelight. It's that warm infrared light that we crave as humans because we evolved in front of firelight. So having these candles floating above the head would feel very comforting, and in the Great Hall. Those little details of the setting just really make you feel as a reader like you're there, or if you're watching a movie, you're transported to that setting. Like, I just watched Gladiator 2 and I wasn't too excited about the movie itself, but again, that setting is such a romantic idea to us, the Colosseum where the gladiators fight. Like, we know it's dry and hot and chaotic. Like, we're just very familiar with it because it's been established so well previously. I'm probably rambling, but that's what I do. So maybe I'll put a timer on so I know how much writing I'm actually getting done and not just blabbing. I'm just curious. I'm just gonna pull this up. That's weird. I just pulled up the live on my channel because I haven't done this before. And if anyone's chatting, I gotta say hello. Why setting matters. Okay. So what did I write so far? I'll put the timer on. Oh, not yet. I'll put the timer on once I've kind of figured out how I want to begin, and then I'll go into it. So setting, where are we? This is the first thing you would establish with, I don't want to write a, I was going to start writing about improv, but I feel like for a video essay, that's not everyone's done improv. Not everyone's like had to establish a scene right away. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to word what I'm trying to say. So where are we? This is the first thing you would establish with your scene partner if you're familiar with improv, whether you're doing an improv or performing a movie with a scene partner. So I'll just give a little introduction to improv in my experience. As soon as you start an improv scene, you have to establish a premise. Without a premise, your audience doesn't know anything about what's coming next. Your scene partner doesn't know what offers to give. So you can start off a scene and you're digging. Okay, they're on the ground, they're digging, and then the next choice or offer decision is maybe the scene partner sees that you're digging in the ground and you're like scratching it, and then they can be like, oh, you're working so hard on this work site, and you can yes and that offer as if you were on a construction site and you're digging. I don't know why you'd be digging with your hands, I'm just riffing, but maybe instead you're like, oh, you got to help me bury this dead body. So all of a sudden, like, okay, we're grounded on the ground digging, we have an idea of setting, and now we know what can come next. So where are we is where we start the story. And you can start your story with a banger comment. I just had an example from Glass Castle, the book. When I was born, I was on fire, and she talks about being, I think, in this little trailer and this cheap stove because they're really poor, and she doesn't have any parental supervision, and she's cooking hot dogs and she lights herself on fire. And it's brutal, it's awful, but right away we know, like, okay, we know her socioeconomic class, we know trailers, like sometimes they can be dank and full of mold, and all these little details that arrive because she's established well that she's a child alone cooking hot dogs over a stove and she doesn't have parents or money. So again, what are our senses? What are our sense of touch, taste, smell, sight, and ears are picking up? Where are we? What do you give your reader? Are we in a drug den or a soccer practice? The world is open to us. You just need to first establish either where we are or where we wish to go. So premise is the present. Your premise, you have to bring into the present moment with your audience. Same with a stand-up joke. The joke isn't going to land. You set up the premise, and you're not going to earn that punchline if you don't set up the premise and establish where your idea takes place. Another title I had was The Power of Place, Crafting Unforgettable Story Worlds. I don't like that so much. I need it to be tighter. So I'm going to get into working on this idea. I still like the idea for this video essay, setting as a character, or treating setting as your character. Can be a secret weapon for telling a great story. Sometimes if I don't want to, with essays, I think it's really important you establish a strong title, and then you can mirror and teach the lesson that you want to convey through that title. That title is your driving force, and you want to refer back to it throughout the essay. But you don't want to get too stuck on perfecting the title, especially for a YouTube essay. It's more important to just get it done. Be direct. And so let's just use ChatGPT to kind of condense this idea, because that's a good way to save some time. We will use the tools that we have access to. So can you condense this title from my YouTube essay as a main character? Treating setting as a important main character. Okay, does this title / idea I need it to be direct. Let's see what other ideas. Make setting the secret weapon of great storytelling. Oh, is that all it's going to give me? Can you please, always say please to ChatGPT, a different few, can you please give me few different variations on this? How treating setting as a character enhances storytelling. So when I'm deciding my title for a YouTube essay, I mean, I'm doing pretty okay with my YouTube essays. Could be better. I'm definitely thinking, again, always about the thumbnail. I look at thumbnails as important as I would a movie poster. Like if I saw this thumbnail, do I want to click on it? If I saw this movie poster, would I want to pay to go see the movie or spend my time watching the movie? I think movie posters used to be a bigger thing, and I think we should kind of try to get back to. I love the art of, this is the first idea or first way you're going to show your film, like put a lot of work into it. And I love that YouTube encourages that with YouTube thumbnails. I think it's really amazing if you see like a thumbnail, you're like, that's different. Ooh, what's that about? Doesn't even have to be the subject matter you're interested in, but if like the YouTube thumbnail looks really great or enticing, I like it. And I see a lot of people doing the same YouTube thumbnails, and I've tried that formula, really like bold letters, your face making a crazy reaction, and it does well, but I'm trying to just do things the way I want to do them while paying attention to the data I get back and what people that are consuming my content like. And I kind of like treating the YouTube thumbnails as movie posters. So that was a bit of a tangent, but that's what I'm keeping in mind when I'm formulating my essays. So how treating setting as a character enhances storytelling. Would I click on that? Unlocking the power of setting in great stories. The secret weapon of storytelling, setting as a character. I still kind of like that one. That one speaks to me a bit. Because the secret weapon, like weapon to me, it makes me think of like a great tool for impact of, not without getting too negative on the ideas of weapons, but a weapon is a tool. So the secret tool or weapon of storytelling, setting as a character. Why setting is key to masterful storytelling. Using setting as a character to tell better stories. I like that. That's kind of getting to it. The hidden power of setting in storytelling. Transforming setting into a storytelling superpower. When setting becomes a character, the key to great stories. Harnessing the power of setting for unforgettable stories. Why treating setting as a character makes stories great. Let's think on this. Secret weapon of storytelling, setting. I still kind of like my original one, just shorter. Let's put that in Milanote. At some point I'll share my screens, but not today. I just have to get started on doing these lives. Doing things more consistently with writing as it goes for us all. Kind of like using setting as a character to tell better stories, because not every story emphasizes their setting, but I think the best ones do. So that's just my personal opinion. So using setting as a character to tell better stories. The secret weapon of storytelling, setting as a character. So something along those lines. And then for the thumbnail, I'm trying to think. Oh, I should have my whole like formula for the thumbnail up. I've kind of done my own research and seeing what people do for the video essay thumbnails, and I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to make it creative, maybe look like a movie poster, something that you want to click on. Even if you're not into writing, like I still consume YouTube videos all the time on stuff that I'm not necessarily interested in, but something made me click on the video, and that's what I like. How'd you get me? And you got me good. I watched the whole video. That's the point I want to get to. That's the goal, people. The thumbnail. So, using setting as a character to tell better stories. I think the easy choice would be like just putting Hogwarts, but I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. Maybe using like a painting, or maybe using like some like a beautiful Greek painting where theater and poetry and storytelling was like really birthed into existence. Greek storytelling. So I want something ancient, because I think that makes more sense with this core idea. Ancient looking, enticing. So I'll have to play Canva later, but okay. So I have my image in mind of, because what I want to convey is this is core storytelling that will serve you throughout the whole endeavor. And then I also want to convey that, yeah, like a good launching pad, and then what am I trying to say? Thumbnail, painting, Greek, ancient looking, enticing, full of wisdom. So yeah, I'll play with that in Canva later. Now it's time to actually write this essay. And I am going to use Harry Potter as an example, because that was the first setting that really changed my life with a story. I think for a lot of us, but well, if you're in my age group. Na, 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 na. Also want to use like Arcane. I hope people out there, if you're listening to this, if you haven't watched Arcane, please go on Netflix and watch it. It's so good. It's insane how good that storytelling is. And animation. It's like hand-painted animation. I don't know how much better you can get than that. Good that storytelling is. Oh, here I am. Hold on. Animation. It's like hand-painted animation. I don't know how much better. All right, no one's chatting. That's fine. No one's here. All good. Just me. Whatever. No friends for Sam today. That's all good. We'll just keep going. All right. Harry Potter, improv, premise, stand up, home, coming back to yourself. Inner world. In fact, I'm going to reward myself if I get this essay done. I will watch the last 3 episodes of Arcane season 2 today, because I think they just dropped. And I'm very sad that that story is over. Those 2 sisters. If you are someone that has had dysfunction in your relationships with your sisters, conflict. I mean, I don't know who hasn't with siblings, but it doesn't even have to be siblings, close friends. It explores that whole journey so well, and it's heartbreaking to me, and I like it so much that I have the Jinx Secret Labs chair. I'm not a gamer. I just watched that show, and then I watched the documentary about making Arcane, and I just completely fell in love with the people that worked tirelessly to create that show. That's the level that I want to get to. I want to be like I want people to watch it and be like, wow, this is like dripping with love. That this person put everything into the story. And it just makes me want to invest more into that franchise. I want to get all the merch, all the toys, all the things that I can surround myself as a reminder of like that is the level to strive to get to of what hard work is with storytelling. So that's why I got the Jinx chair. I got my Lord of the Rings keyboard. And again, setting. So Lord of the Rings, another great setting. Middle Earth. Tolkien's like the king of using setting to drive character development, stories, and just how important it is. So another piece of advice from me to you, whoever's listening, no one's listening currently, but if you do watch this, please invest in the things that inspire you. If you may think, oh, like, what am I going to do with that? It's like clutter in my house. If you want to tell stories, or if you want to believe in yourself, or look at someone else that has achieved your dream and then do what they're doing or invest in their work, because that just feeds back into your own energy and what you can produce. So that's why I justify spending money on arcane merch, such as this chair or my Lord of the Rings keyboard, which I'm obsessed with because I want to be a lady of Rohan. And just any other knickknack I have that's from a franchise I love. I have Hogwarts on my car keys because to me, Hogwarts is like a little home I know so well. Again, setting is just part of us. The only real home you will ever have is your own inner world. And that's why I talk about this subject so much on my channel. Your inner world is your compass for dictating your life and the kind of life you want to enjoy, either by yourself or sharing with others. I hope you share with others. The inner world is the only home you will ever actually possess. You may buy a home, you may love that home and put all the money and effort into improving that home, but if the hurricane comes and takes it away, or you go through some other kind of tragedy, you really realize, especially if you're a patient and I've worked in hospital, the only home you actually have is yourself and that inner world. That the only setting that the first setting that you ever build from within and then know how to connect to is that self. So that's why I talk about it so much. I think it's so important that we come back to ourselves and recharge and then give again in the way we can by acknowledging how important setting is. So the setting within yourself and how it interacts with the setting and the environments you place yourself in. That is what I want to convey in this essay. So I think it's time to actually do the writing. I've blabbed enough. I've outlined enough. Talked about the themes. I'm going to put it on a little timer here for a half hour. And then I'll end the stream and then take a break and do some more of this writing. And I hope you could join me. Half hour. The secret weapon in a storytelling setting is a character. restarted this essay instead of talking about an improv scene because that's not accessible to everyone. I'm not trying to write this for everyone. I'm trying to write this for people that want to get better at storytelling or see the significance in how storytelling can help you as a human. That's a whole other topic. But so instead of going from the improv side and my own personal experience, that's not accessible. I'm saying, and I'm starting off the essay with, do you remember the rule when you used to play as a child, what imaginary world you were going to explore with a friend that day? Getting back into that like child's play. Even as children, we know when we're playing imaginary with a friend or a family member, where are we? Are we at a tea party? Are we in this made up scary world? Are we in the world of Paw Patrol? Every kid knows as well that rule. We have to establish where we are first to create a compelling narrative. without me note on my own, I hope. Presence requires premise. Dear, maybe I'll write a poem about this. Presence requires premise. Just making a note here, we lose setting as we get older and forget at times even where our own feet are. It's like that feeling that happens when you completely forget to be present. You get so in your head and you start spiraling. And I think, again, remembering how important our environment is a good indicator for like how our mental well-being may be. I know in my own personal experience, I've gone to therapists and I've had to have them remind me, like, where are you right now? Wherever you are now is exactly where you need to be. What color is the paint on the wall? What else do you see? And like, they make you take in your surroundings in order to calm yourself down. It's like, oh yeah, like that, we just forget to do that and we forget where our feet are. And that's why I like this idea that your presence requires a premise, like a place to be. So, are you being present? Are you actually present where you are presently? So, I'm trying to tie that into this somehow. How do I want to structure more of this? What do I want it to end? I want it to end on a strong call to action. Don't you just place your characters somewhere. Make the setting come alive as an integral part of your storytelling. Let it enhance the mood, challenge your characters, and resonate with your readers. Close. The worlds you create in your stories can transport readers, make them feel and leave them changed. Master the power of place and let your settings elevate your story. Okay, yeah. Transforming one place to another is a cathartic journey. Catharsis. Ooh. To do like the Rose Theater for the thumbnail, maybe. Shakespeare was just obviously amazing establishing setting. Rose Theater. I could have setting is the main character you're neglecting if I wanted to kind of call you out and get you to click on this video essay. Stop doing this. Yeah, I just think of all the movies I love, and if they're changing settings too much, it's like, like rushes the pacing and the story. here. Oh, maybe arcane for this thumbnail. All I can think about is Arcane right now. I just love the first season when they like drop down into Piltworth? What's the... Hold on. I'm just tired. I would have known. Arcane setting. Piltover. Underground is on. Yeah, so when they like drop down into the underground, that elevator, the kids, the first season, and then the music starts and it's like, what does Violet do? She puts her hood up right away because it's like she's gone from this high status environment, this utopian, beautiful, high society world, and then dropped back into her home, and just through her body language, her reaction to the environment, she puts her hood up. And it's like, oh, this character has shame of where she's from because she wants better for her sister, who she is the caretaker of. That's a reaction to the environment and a big character reveal, in a sense, through the action. So character reveal through actions. Why putting hood up? Painting break. All right, so I think it's good to have your thumbnail, but I have a good idea. It's good to have that up front, the package. I'm trying to be a more organized writer, especially with these video essays, because it gets really hectic when you're putting it all together, and you have to have a good system in place. I want this to be a more step-by-step guide to writing. So that way the conclusion means more. also thinking of the most popular. I'm talking more than I usually do when I put the timer on to write, but again, just getting used to this live format, and it's kind of interesting thinking of like the big IPs, like Star Wars, like the ship, Han Solo's ship it's a main character, the Millennium Falcon, like that. It's our transporter through the universe and how they can travel so far so fast. I'm trying to think with the Marvel universe, the big settings, and like my favorite Marvel movies too, just like on a large scale. I think definitely Doctor Strange is definitely one of my favorites. I loved in that first movie how they established his, like, the New York sorcerer's office. I don't know what it's called. But it's like full of all these trinkets and mysterious objects, and then there's like that gorgeous circular window that just adds that whimsical note that like there's magic going on in this setting. And I feel like as an audience member watching that, it's like maybe even Strange himself will never know all the artifacts in that building. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I like that premise that it has. And then the, like, Tony Stark, you know, like in the Avengers, his high tower, it's like his ego on display. And it's but he's also, he's making it the Avengers home, like he's opening it up because he as a character is transformed through the setting that he's built with pepper pots to share with the world with clean energy, and inviting the Avengers on to become a team. So again, that setting plays a huge component in that movie. Any good movie, you can find a good setting or book. Gondor. Such a nerd. Okay. Think of your favorite IP, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Please send homecoming actors. that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this live. If you are watching this, I don't think anyone is, but that's all good. I'm just happy I'm doing this so I can hopefully connect with people on this platform and we can tell stories together or help each other improve. And yeah, I will do this again soon and then have a consistent schedule of doing this because I think it's really good for me as a writer as well to just have that carved out time and then share my process, and I'll figure out a better way to set this up so you can see the work, so on and so forth. Anyways, have a great day and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.